Hi, thank you for joining me today on Moving Forward Together. My name is Kenny Akiyemi, and it's a pleasure having you around. Today we want to discuss how to position ourselves for miracles this year and going forward. We're going to learn something from the book of 2 Kings chapter 4. There is a story there that I think is instructive and is worth sharing today. Please stay with me and I'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we are looking at the book of 2 Kings chapter 4, and there is a story that is very instructive. There was a woman who had debt to pay. The husband was indebted to some people and the husband died. So the husband left the debt for her to pay. The funniest part of the story is the creditors had come to take the child or the children in place of what the husband was owing. So the woman was left with no choice than to whichever way look for the money or lose our children. Now the woman ran to meet the prophet and asked the prophet to pray. Like most of us will go to the pastor and beg the pastor, "Pastor, please pray for me, I'm losing my mind." I guess that is what the woman actually felt like. And I believe she would have expected the prophet to pray, receive, and something is going to happen. That is what most of us expect God to do so many times when we need a miracle. But the issue of this woman actually tells us how God deals with us. So the prophet told this woman, "What do you have in the house?" She said, "I don't have anything save a jar of oil." The prophet said, "That's enough. That's enough for God to do the miracle that He wants to do." Now let me tell you this before I continue. What you have now is enough for God to give you a miracle. Now, it could be anything. You could have some cash. That's enough for God to do something. You may not even have cash, but you have your hands. That's enough for God. You have your legs. That's enough for God. You have a jar of oil somewhere. That's enough for God. So what you have now is enough for God to do a miracle. But how will God go about it? Look at the instruction the man of God gave this woman. He said, "Okay, this jar of oil is what we are going to use to produce a miracle, but this is how we are going to go about it. Go to your neighbors, borrow vessels, borrow not a few, borrow as much as you can borrow, and with that, we are going to produce a miracle." Now, this is instructive in the sense that God expects us to do what is in our own capacity to do, and not just leave everything for Him to do. This year, whatever miracle you are expecting, ask yourself, what can I do here? Have I done all that is in my own capacity? If you are looking for a job, for instance, how many places have you sent your CV? Have you asked somebody, a friend, a colleague, to review your CV for you and help you redress it? Or have you sent that CV to as many people, friends, colleagues, even enemies? You send it to as many people because that was instruction. Borrow not a few. As much as you can get, as many people as you can contact, go ahead and borrow them. The same thing, you are doing a business, you expect God to bless that business, to grow your business for you. God is saying, in your own capacity, what can you do? So do for yourself what is in your capacity, and God will do for you what you cannot do. That was how the woman received a miracle. So the woman went ahead and borrowed as many jars as possible. After she entered and she started pouring the little that she had into these big jars. And the Bible recorded that after she had no more jars to pour in, the miracle stopped. Now that tells us that we are the one that can limit what God can do in our lives. So don't be the limit of God's blessings in your life. Go ahead, do your best. The Bible says, Paul plants, Apollo waters, God gives the increase. Can you see the equation? Imagine if Paul had not planted, Apollo did not water. How will God give the increase? So God expects Paul to plant. So you are the Paul in this scenario. God expects you to do your best. God expects you to give your best. And Apollo has to water. You are the Apollos in this scenario. So God expects you to go ahead and do all that is in your capacity to do with what you have. If you want to start buying and selling, you have just as small as whatever you think you have. Start from there. buy the little that you have that can afford, and tell people about it. From there, God begins to expand your influence and people begin to know what you sell. That exactly is what God can do. If a farmer plants, the farmer cannot tell what's going to happen to the seed, but God can tell. God can give that increase. That's God's part, and God is going to be faithful to His. So I'm instructing you today, as you go into the year, to not relax. God does not condone laziness. He doesn't accept lackadaisical attitude. He expects us to give Him the best that is possible and allow Him take it up from there. So my charge to you this day is, go out, give it your best, and watch God do what you cannot do. Thank you for staying tuned today. If you've been blessed by this video and you think it is worth sharing, please go ahead and share the video with someone that you think will be blessed by it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like and follow us on other social media platforms. Until I come your way another time, stay blessed.